Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechaha Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the Great Millstone GMS. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the Bayath Shah Dawadah, which is the house of David, the tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of this earth. Adon Ratazah, that is to say, Lord willing. So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and informative to the elect. So, yeah, prophecies is what's popping off right now, man. Okay, things are really heating up. All right, the words of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, contained within the Holy Bible, all right, it's coming to pass in these last days, man. Okay, now you got this, port strike, okay, and things like that. All right, you got these different articles, about it, telling people to, stock up on food, okay, and things like that, because they ain't sure how long it's going to last and stuff like that, So look at this. This was one day ago, CNN, October the 1st, 2024. Right, Tuesday is when this article came out. Mass port strike begins across America's East Coast, threatening shortages and rising prices. Okay. That's another thing. Inflation, which will turn into hyperinflation. All right. So, we're in dire times. New York, nearly 50,000 members of the International Longshoremen's Association, ILA, are on strike Tuesday against the nation's east and Gulf Coast ports, choking off the flow of many of what America's imports and exports in what could become the country's most destructive work stoppage in decades. Right. These imports contain, different materials, okay? So things like that, it won't be imported, okay, with this happening. The strike, which began at midnight, will stop the flow of a wide variety of goods over the docks of almost all cargo ports from Maine, the state of Maine, to the state of Texas. This includes bananas, European beer, wine and liquor, along with furniture, clothing, household goods, and European autos, as well as parts needed to keep US factories operating and American workers in those plants on the job, among many other goods. It could also stop US exports now flowing through those ports, hurting sales for American companies. So it has that, domino effect. So, companies won't do as well, okay? They're not going to, make the profits they'd like to. It affects them too, okay? A wide gap remained between the union's demand and the contract offer from the United States Maritime Alliance, which uses the acronym USMX. The Maritime Alliance represents the major shipping lines, all of which are foreign-owned, as well as terminal operators and port authorities. Okay, so, hey, okay, this is all Bible prophecy again, all right? And ultimately, this is what going to lead, this will lead to the downfall of E, this, the Caucasian man that's in the rulership position today, ruling in complete wickedness. All right, so let's get the book of the prophet, 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. We'll get straight to the point, verse 22. All right, and it reads, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." Yeah, those full storehouses will suddenly be found empty because there's no goods coming, from those docks, man. All right, those different foods and products and items, all right, won't be in abundance anymore. Okay. Plus the prices are rising. So that will then conclude to a lack of bread. All right, a small famine. And there's going to be more famines. All right, it's going to be greater. All right. Protests. All right, as well as uproars of the people. Don't forget the scripture mentions that too. All right. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, in 3 hours they shall not run. All right. So this is where we're at, man. All right. That's just one article. Let's go to, in fact, let's get another one in and we can get a scripture after that. Reuters, 15 minutes ago, recent. US Port Workers Union backed by White House in strike. Right, a strike by 45,000 dock workers halting shipments at US East Coast and Gulf Coast ports entered its second day on Wednesday with no negotiations currently, which is today, currently scheduled between the two sides, sources told Reuters. The lack of progress is raising concerns among those relying on shipments that the disruption should be prolonged. The International Longshoremen's Association union strikers blocked goods and food to automobile shipments across dozens of ports from Maine to Texas, right? Similar to what we just read from the CNN article. Right, which analysts warn will cost the economy billions of dollars a day. Oh, it's all downhill from here on out, man. That's good news. I love to hear that. I love to see what I'm reading. That's good. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I'll slow it down if I can, as getting a bit excited rushing. But yeah, fantastic, man. Let's get the book of Proverbs. Chapter 29 and verse 2, man. Fantastico. Indeed. It's bloody brilliant. Anyway, Proverbs. Oh, yeah, there we are. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2 reads, when the righteous are in authority, right, in a position of rulership, okay, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And the people are mourning. Why? Because they're not in a good position right now. Suffering, right? They ain't making as much money as they'd like. Okay? We just read that it's a major blow to the economy. Alright? People are going to want their wages to increase. Alright? Plus E, right, is doing this so you can have total control, all right, over absolutely everything. Let's get this in another translation. I'll just get this in the Blue Letter Bible. Same scripture, Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2 in the NLT, New Living Translation. All right, because this devil, he's doing this by design, you see. So this ain't no coincidence. This isn't just something that happened, but he'll push it out that way to make you believe, oh, you know, it was something accidental or something like that. You know, he'll come up with some story. Proverbs 29 and 2, NLT, and it reads, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. That's right. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices, man. Okay? So these people are mourning, man, right now, man. They're groaning, all right? The wages is not enough, okay? Things like that. Yeah. All sorts of, you know, protests are happening as well. Things of that nature. Alright. All these things happening, man. Plus you got all this distraction with P. Diddy and the elections as well. Alright, that's why we are to remain vigilant and, you know, be occupied in prophecies. Okay. Meanwhile, jobs are getting cut. Businesses are going out. Alright. Energy bills are increasing. People are fed up, man. They're stressed out of their head. Alright. Things of that nature. Let's get the book of Mark, chapter 3. Start at verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, this is Yahushua speaking now, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. Okay, America is very much divided. All right, so soon it won't be able to stand. Okay, there'll be civil wars, riots, race wars, class wars. All right, total anarchy. All right. Get that in another translation. Matthew 3 and 24, NLT. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. Verse 25 NLT. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. Verse 26 NLT. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive. America's on its last leg, man. I ain't surviving. Alright. So yeah, America's divided more than ever, man. This devil, right, has an end. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing I want to talk about. So much is happening, man. So many things. You know, you miss the day. It's like you miss a lot. And there's more articles regarding this too. This is ongoing. Alright. Here's the next thing. Right, so we all know by now, you know, Persia shot missiles that struck the statehood of the JJs, right? Yeah, so we're in the beginning of wars, man. Alright, live update CNN 34 minutes ago. Okay. The statehood of Israel vows response to Persia missile attack. JJ forces and Iran-backed Hezbollah fighters have engaged in fighting on the ground in southern Lebanon after Persia launched its largest ever attack on the statehood of the JJs on Tuesday. The JJ military said 8 soldiers were deleted in combat on Wednesday. Persia fired about 200 ballistic missiles in Tuesday's barrage, which it said was in response to the deletings of Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah and Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh. Okay. JJ Prime Minister Benjamin, not a real J-O-O, right, not a real Jew, said Persia will pay. As fears grow of a wider all-out war between the two regional military powerhouses, Persia's military chief warned of broader strikes if the JJs respond. US President Joe Biden said he does not support a potential JJ attack on Persian nuclear sites. So, wars and rumors of wars, man. Things are really heating up in that area over there, man. Alright. Let's get the book of Matthew. Chapter 24. Alright. The Lord is gathering the nations, man, over there in the region of this so-called Middle East. Alright. Start at verse 3. And as he, which is Yahushua, sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of your coming, and of the end of the world. Alright. So the disciples asked Yahushua, what will happen before you make your second return? Like before the Messiah makes his second return. Right? And return at the end of the world. Right? The word world, right here in this context, when you're going to the Greek word for it, it's aion, meaning an age, a certain time of rulership, meaning the end of Esau's rulership, right? The so-called WHITE man's world, right? Because he's in that power seat. Okay. So, that's it, you know? So yeah, man, America, yeah, you're gonna be you're gonna be fighting in World War III. All right, you're gonna be involved in that. Verse 4, and Yahushua, right, not Jesus, answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. All right, and just remember, 2 Esdras 6 and 9 says, For he is the end of this world, and Yahweh is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, so the Israelites are gonna rule next. All right. To bring that to your awareness, all right? Verse 5, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. All right? So loads of people will be deceived by the false prophets, you know, in these last days. Verse 6, And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, you know, this is wars and rumors of wars, man. Okay? It's only going to escalate further and further, all right? But the end is not yet. Yeah, because the digital all, which is the RFID micro C-HIP, has to be enforced first all over the planet before the nukes can fly. All right, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. You see, nation shall fight against nation, you see. All right. So yeah, America. Yeah, you're going into World War III. Okay. It's going to gather all these nations over there in that so-called Middle Eastern area. All right. To repeat myself, man. Okay. China too. All right. North Korea is going into World War III as well. So will Iran. Oh, and we can't forget Russia, of course. All right. Russia's going to be a guard to these nations too. Ezekiel 38 goes into that. All right. So yeah, this is what's happening. All right. So tensions escalating between various countries as well. All right. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45 reads, Therefore hear you the counsel of Ha-Adawan Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock, right, you JJs, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Okay. You know, so the statehood of the JJs, you Amalekites, will draw out America for this war, man. Right? So we have to continue watching and praying. You see? You know, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai has these nations going against each other, leading up to the destruction of Babylon the Great, America. All right, all these nations will gather in that Levant, the valley of Yehoshaphat, and the Lord will destroy them at once when he comes back with the holy angels, man. All right. See if there's any more news updates regarding this. Oh, oops. What's Biden saying now? Al Jazeera, 2 hours ago. Biden says he would not back Amalekite strike on Persia's nuclear sites. Any Amalekite response to Iran's missile barrage should be proportional, says the US president. The United States President Joe Biden has voiced opposition to any strikes on Persia's nuclear site in response to Tehran missile attack on statehood of the JJs. When asked by reporters on Wednesday whether he would back such retaliation, Biden stated the answer is no. Right. Biden comments come a day after Persia fired some 180 ballistic missiles at U-1948 as its second attack on the country since April. Persia's most recent attack on Amalek's military sites have come in response to the assassination of key Persian allied figures, including Hamas leader, Ismail, and Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, Alright. So, again, this is all Bible prophecy coming to pass. So, very close to the end, man. And that reminds me of this scripture in the book of Sirach, chapter 39, and verse 1, which reads, But he that gives his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So we view what's going on all around the earth and measure the times via the scriptures, the holy scriptures, that is, all right, being the ruler, if you will, all right. Occupying meaning to be busy in, so we're busy watching current events and things like that. Okay. Let's get a precept. Blessed are your eyes, that's the one I want. Uh, that's it. Luke chapter 10, verse 23. And he turned him unto his disciples, Yahushua, and said privately, Blessed are the eyes which see the things that you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them. Right, and if you understand reincarnation, you know, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, so the prophets are back today. We are our forefathers coming back, right? But hey, the point is that blessed are your eyes which see the things that you see, and that's true. Okay, you know, we hear spiritually and see spiritually what's going on. The masses are still into their folly, especially 2/3 of our people in Babylon the Great. All right, they're distracted, you know, still distracted by sports, you know, the bread and circuses, Diddy, celebrity gossip, all sorts of foolishness. All right, scripture says this gospel shall be preached in all the world, then shall the end come. And we're at the end right now. Okay, shalom.